Hello ladies and gentlemen, Panzer here, and welcome to Gloria Victis. This is a first look at this new early access MMO that's appeared on Steam. And now, I don't normally cover MMOs, mainly because of just how long the games are and how in-depth you have to go to really give a solid first impression. So really, this is very, very, very early, and I thought I'd just do this video anyway to make a little bit more awareness about this game that is actually out, because I actually really think that this is something special. I wouldn't cover an MMO otherwise. So before we get into it, let's just quickly go and have a look at the character creator. Now, this is an early access, I have to stress that, so a lot of things are not available yet. For example, there are only two races. We have the Izmirs and the Midlanders, and this affects which faction you start off with. So if you've ever played a game like Mountain Blade, Mountain Blade, by the way, is a very, very good medieval sort of game. That's one to check out if you're interested in that. And this affects your starting area, so really all your allegiances are tied to this particular choice. Now, they only have male characters at the moment. Female characters are coming, so that's grayed out at the moment. So let's just have a look at how much you can customize a character. Your height, fully customizable there. Body size will affect your upper body, of course. We can make our head bigger or smaller, within reason, of course. Shoulder size affects your arm length. Leg size affects the leg thickness, which is going to make it really thick. We never skip leg day here. And let's have a look at skin tones. I always find it weird that, you see a bluish skin tone and you can't make a blue character. Very, very odd. And let's have a look at the faces. This includes scarring and tattoos. So we have a few choices here. Not a lot yet. He looks happy to be here. Let's choose him. And let's go with Mountain Man facial hair. Why not? Yeah, he looks happy. Okay, and we do get a choice of armor. So if we choose high protection, we do have a much harder time moving around. You have a lot more stamina drain, and your stamina regens very slowly, so you're very well protected against damage, but you're not able to dish it out, which is an interesting way of doing combat, because this is a hack and slash MMO. Light protection, of course, gives you the least amount of defense, but you're able to attack and dodge and run around a lot more effectively. So it depends on the sort of character you like to play. I like to go in the middle, but this time we're going to try the heavy armor and see how much that really affects us. Let's go with increased strength. We're going to go with higher constitution as well. Make ourselves a bit more of a tanky type character, and we're going to call ourselves Butt McButts, because I do like that name. I mean, hopefully that name is actually allowed. Okay, here we are in the world. Now, I understand this game is running on Unity. I believe so, anyway. So when we draw our weapon, of course, we have a full mouse control over the camera. We can put our weapon away. And if we hit Z, we have the mouse to do things with. So let's just click that. We've got a daily reward for logging in, which is always nice to see. And let's have a look at our inventory. So we do have a bunch of stuff. We do have a bow that we can use. There's no ammo as far as I can tell. But it allows us to have a ranged weapon. Now we can also equip the lantern. Equip that. So that goes in a offhand slot that attaches to us. Let's open that. And let's open our daily reward as well. Yeah, we get earned reputation. Yes, of course. So we have some basic materials here, and it is actually part of a tutorial to go through that. But this is the crafting menu. So you can actually see, let me just get all of that out of the way. There's a dialogue still clips over the menus, which is a bit annoying. I hope that gets sorted out soon. So we have different tabs here that we can have a look at, and these are all different types of skills. Or rather, crafting skills. So these are leveled up individually. And we can also search, so we're looking to make an axe. Let's search for that. And we're going to make an iron woodcutter's axe. So this is available through the engineering and the weapon forging. Because, of course, this is as much a tool as it is a weapon. Now, I'll get onto that in a minute, because that is actually one of the more interesting parts about this particular game. Now, we already did have a woodcutter's axe. It was just asking us to make another one, because everything has durability in this game too, because everything is a tool. Okay, so even the people playing it. Alright, so let's go. So this is our sprinting speed, and this is our normal running speed. Not much of a difference at the moment, honestly. Not much of a difference. So this is a safe zone, and this game is pure PvP. So if you're into that sort of thing, this actually is going to be very interesting for you guys. I don't know what this guy's doing. He's blocking with a sword. We can interact with the gate. Let me just try to get in the right spot. There we go. Let's close the gate behind us. So this is our camp.
Same old shit.
Alright, so this is a sort of wooden fort. So as far as I know, in this world, the Izmirs are actually the invaders. They are actually invading this land with the Midlanders. Oh, somebody's opened the gate. That's really loud, actually. Okay, so, the questing system is a bit Guild Wars 2, in that you are affected by sort of the things that are happening around you. So if you have a look at where we are now, we have activated a quest on the right side there with a completion bar. So it counts towards your daily completion stuff. Now, all of that... Oh, there was a little foxy running away. So we can attack. Combat is definitely very hack and slash. So we now have a dead fox. So we click to attack, and that does a simple weak attack, depending on where you're facing. So if I'm aiming slightly upwards, it's an overhead strike. If I'm aiming downwards, it's actually a thrust. And if I'm aiming sort of eye level, which is very hard to do, it's an across body strike. So I don't know if that actually makes a difference, since the only way of really blocking seems to be just an all-round block, but it consumes stamina. And of course there's a little bar that charges up, so you can see green being the weakest, and then you charge it up to the yellow zone, that's a medium, and then red is the heaviest. And of course that uses the most stamina, but it deals the most damage. Simple enough to understand. Right, so we'll show you a bit more of the combat by fighting this outcast over here. So charge it up, and that was an instant kill. Okay. Alright. So yeah, so a lot of these enemies are easily defeated by this. But yeah, the combat being that it's... And of course we can block. Yep, alright, he's dead. The combat is hack and slash, very much so. And even though I have about 200 milliseconds ping to the server, it actually isn't that bad. So now we're gathering some wood here, and all I have to do is just hit E. You can do gathering of wood with any piece of equipment, any at all. But the speed of gathering depends on what weapon you have equipped. So if you equip a sword, it's not going to be as effective as an axe for cutting through wood. At the same time, you can also use your axe or your sword to gather from ore mining veins, so you have little lumps of ore. And equipping a pickaxe will definitely help to speed that up significantly. And of course, all of this wears down your materials or your equipment. So of course, if you're using a sword to go and gather ore, you're not going to expect that sword to last particularly long. So that's something to bear in mind. It's interesting to see just how much freedom you get in this game. I always find a lot of MMOs to be very, very restrictive in terms of who you are, what you can do. In this, you have no classes. You are just another citizen. And aside from your starting equipment, you are completely unique. You can do anything you want to do. So, of course, you want to be the best weaponsmith, you can do that right from the beginning. If you so choose. So at the moment, because our strength level is so high, our physical weapon damage is ridiculous right now. So, yeah, that's why these enemies are dying so quickly. Aside from them being level 1 as well, that does play a part in this too. Alright, let's try and gather from this beehive. There we go. And this will give us a bunch of things, actually. One of them being beeswax, which is used for making bowstrings and the like. So there's a lot of crafting in this game. A very, very large amount of crafting. And all of this is done through recipes. So I believe we found a recipe earlier. Yep, there we go. So this is a recipe book for lime, which allows you to make all the different types of lime, which is used in all sorts of things, from tailoring to metallurgy and even forms of engineering. But since we already know that, this is kind of useless to us, and we can simply sell that off. Now, let's have a look at something that we can do. So if you want to craft with anything here, you can just click on any item and see what recipes you know. So let's have a look here. So we've got a dead fox. Let's see our available recipes. That gives us fox butchering, and just simply clicking that takes us to the crafting menu. So let's craft that, and that gives us, what has it given us? That's given us a raw fox hide, and we can go and show available recipes again, and we can create a fleshed fox hide. So this will allow us to have a pure fox hide to use for other things. Now, of course, we don't have any further recipes to deal with that, so at the moment... Oh, we do, actually. Yes, we can make fox fur, so we need tannin for that. And, tannin is something that I don't know how to get yet. So we could probably find a merchant and see if we can buy that, but that will be something useful for that. Sawdust is something that is a byproduct of actually just processing wood. So if you make wood into billets, you get sawdust. And if you process any form of wood, you get some form of sawdust. So very interesting to see how this actually works. Quite a lot of it is actually just sort of by virtue of you collecting things. Like, we collected honey from that from the beehive earlier, and that's a form of nourishment that we can actually use. We don't have anything else we can do with it yet, but this beeswax over here is another byproduct of that. So all these sort of things happen. Now, just having a look at what we need to make a leather strap, we'll need thick hardened leather, and we can do that by probably getting some of these boar hides. So yeah, something we can actually look at doing. But hopefully this gives you just a basic idea of what this game is all about. Now, if you're interested in the combat side of things, though, let's just have a look at the map. Now, where we are here is a land called Stoneholm, and over here in the east, this is where we are. In the west here, this is where the Midlanders are. So all of these here, these little settlements along the way, these work just like the control points in any MMO PvP match. Like, for example, if you've ever played Battlegrounds, you know that you have, or in WoW Battlegrounds, you know that you have the different sides where you start off with. And if you were to play, for example, in Guild Wars 2, the world versus world stuff, then you know that you have the different areas to go and capture and conquer. This works exactly the same way, and all of it is hack and slash PvP. So the combat actually feels a lot like, I would say, Mountain Blade Warband. The closest comparison I have is Mountain Blade Warband, but you are a single person and not the commander of an army. So that's what it sort of feels like. Unfortunately, I can't show you that because this is a fairly unpopulated server. That's not to say that not many people are playing. Far from it, in fact. This is actually just the only server I could get onto because the rest are all full. So this game is filling up very, very quickly. So if you're interested in it, go and check it out. Links in the description down below. And thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you're new to the channel. This is Panzer taking a look at Gloria Victis. It's now available on Steam Early Access, and it is a hack and slash PvP MMO with a very in-depth crafting system. Do go and check it out if this interests you, and I'll see you next time.